Yes.
Dhanyavad Maharaj. We have a question from Suresh Krishna Prabhu Riga, Latvia. Dear Śrīla Goswami Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Also my obeisances to all the online devotees. A while ago, I was recalling a line from a śloka dedicated to Śrīla Sanātan Goswāmī, saying, "He forced me to drink the nectar of rasa." Finally, devotees helped me to find the whole śloka, a Praṇām Mantra composed by Śrīla Raghunāth Dās Goswāmī. And shall I recite the śloka?
Hopefully.
Vairāgya-yug-bhakti-rasaṁ prayatnair, apāyayan anabhīpsum andham, kṛpāmbudhir para-duḥkha-duḥkhī, sanātanas tam prabhum āśrayāmi. Vilāpa-kusumāñjali 6. Could you please explain this idea, forced to drink the nectar? Many thanks to the devotees from Infinity Media team for helping me to enunciate this question.
I'm recalling Srila Guru Maharaj telling us about the beginning days of Sri Gaudiya Math, perhaps before it was even established as Sri Gaudiya Math. And that meant Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur living in relative seclusion in Mayapur, where he had, his nature was that of a bhajananandi, actually. Chanting 192 rounds a day, 3 lakhs of Krishna Nam, always deeply absorbed in the internal world, serving there in his divine form, Swarup, Siddha Swarup. And it was at the behest of Bhaktivinod Thakur that he came out. We heard from Srila Prabhupada long ago that the Mahabhagavata Guru, as a Mahabhagavata, is virtually inaccessible. And there's no need for preaching. They see that everything is going perfectly according to the divine will of Krishna. So no adjustment necessary. And he would say they have to come down to the madhyam position to distinguish between this is favorable, this is unfavorable, go in this direction, not that. Right? So Śrīla Saraswati Thakur, he's deep in the internal upper world, the Mahabhagavata world. But as Bhaktivinod Thakur is preparing to leave this world, he is concerned about the ongoing seva puja of the Yog Pit in Mayapur, the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where he appeared. And there are deities established, and Guru Maharaj tells us at one point, Bhaktivinod Thakur's making his wishes known that Śrīla Saraswati Thakur will take up the seva puja of the deity. And Saraswati Thakur is reluctant. He's declining, which is a very interesting thing to think about. And once in it's almost like a cliffhanger. So, and it's part of their pastime. So he's declining, and Bhaktivinod Thakur chides him, but almost in a mildly humorous way. He said, you've become a nirvisheshvadi. The nirvisheshvadi means that God is formless, nirakar. And so the worship of the deity would be a burden to you. And when Saraswati Thakur understood the heart of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur on this matter, we will hear Guru Maharaj saying, and Gurudev, that on account of the wealth in the melted heart of Bhaktivinod Thakur did he descend here, right, to distribute that divine substance. Guru Maharaj reminds us that he's saying, love is about distribution, not absorption. Right? And that's the default position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru Rupa Harim Gauram Radha Ruchi Ruchavritam, enveloped in the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani, distributing her Krishna Prem. So understanding that this is the desire of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur, then Saraswati Thakur, although considering himself unfit and unqualified, he accepts that seva. But to do that, we have also heard Guru, and again, Prabhupada said, Guru Maharaj said, Guru, consistently throughout, they said, a Mahabhagavata Guru does not accept anyone as a disciple. And we'll think, what? But they have so many disciples. And then the second half comes. They see their disciples as vaibhav or extensions of their guru. So there are those who they would say, like, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu. And that's all. Only these three you can call Prabhu. Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita. Right. So they objected to Srila Saraswati Thakur calling his disciples Prabhu. We've heard when they would come before him at certain times giving their dandavats, that he would bow and say, Dashoshmi, I am your servant. We think, no, the disciples, they're the servant of the Guru. Why is the Guru saying he's the servant of the disciple? Because Srila Guru Maharaj tells us, really that is the case. He said, talking about seva puja, as the sevak prepares fruit or flower to be offered to the deity, sometimes cleansing the fruit, making it fit to be offered. Guru Maharaj says, in a similar way, the Guru, through his instructions, Dibyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papa Shasangshayam, it's cleansing the disciple and making them fit to be offered in divine service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. So Srila Saraswati Thakur, he introduced calling disciples Prabhu. We had the experience in India of hearing people sometimes referring to the Guru saying, oh, I have a Prabhu, Lord. Like we hear Chinese saying, Shifu, Master. Oh, I have a Prabhu. So Prabhu, again, for Guru. And here we have this exalted, highest level Mahabhagavata Guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, calling his disciples Prabhu. Why? Because he sees them as extensions or vaibhav of his Gurudev. And to that, Guru Maharaj added, the nature of the Vaishnava, considering themselves unfit, unqualified, but some seva has descended to they've been enlisted in a particular type of seva, then they're thinking, only by the grace of Sri Guru can this be realized. So in the acceptance of disciples, they say, oh, my Gurudev has mercifully appeared as so many apparent disciples because I'm so ill-equipped and unqualified to do the seva. He's come in all these forms to assist me. How kind and gracious is Sri Guru. So, when Srila Saraswati Thakur got the inspiration to come down to this, enact the madhyam position, to enact the function of guru in terms of being accessible to others, he began this preaching in Mayapur. And there, Srila Keshava Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj was there. His sister used to cook for Saraswati Thakur. We hear like Luchi very much. And these type of white puris. And Saki Charan Babu was there. And he recounted to Srila Guru Maharaj some of the beginning days of Srila Saraswati Thakur's preaching. And so as he came out, and remember, he's trying to represent, not only represent the infinite, but we could say his degree of infinite. As once a man in South India, hearing him sometimes speak English, Bengali, Sanskrit, and he was saying, Prabhu, if you would just select one language and we could focus on that. And Guru Maharaj said, Saraswati Thakur said, I'm not speaking English, I'm not speaking Bengali, I'm not speaking Sanskrit. He said, I'm trying to represent that plane and translate it for you in whatever language is necessary to fully express it and properly, accurately. So Saki Charan Babu said, Saraswati Thakur was so intense, right? And he would sometimes, he'd be pounding on the table, raving about Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu's Krishna conception. And he said, and the blood would rush and flush his face. And Guru Maharaj said, then we understood what is lotus face. And he said, like pink, white, pink, like petals of a lotus flower. His face would flush with this rush of intensity of Krishna conception, of Mahaprabhu's conception. And the pounding on the table. And Saki Charan Babu said, we couldn't follow everything Prabhupada was saying. He said, but there's one thing we knew for sure, is that it was as if he was forcibly trying to make us drink some nectarine substance. He said, that we knew, but we couldn't understand everything he was saying or the depth of everything. But he was as if he was trying to force this nectarine substance down our throats. So kind, so merciful, and extending qualification to others, distribution. As Guru Maharaj said, the real sign of love is in distribution. And that sort of distribution as a service to others. Now, in the case of Śrīla Raghunāth Dās Goswāmī, in one sense, it is perplexing because there's no doubt of his sincerity and the accuracy of what he is expressing, but to come, it's even more underscored or more, what's the word? Profound, but there's another word. That it's coming from the personification of renunciation. Śrīla Raghunāth Dās Goswāmī. It says, but what's not clear here, and what Prabhu has submitted, is, he says, vairāgya-yug-bhakti-rasaṁ prayatnair. He's saying, I was unwilling to drink this type of vairāgya. Right? But it's that Das Goswami who, Indra Aishwarya Sama, Stri Apsara Sama, who had an opulence, material opulence equal to that of Indra, the king of heaven, right? And Apsara, Indra Aishwarya Sama Apsara, Stri Apsara Sama. And his wife was as beautiful as an Apsara, one of the goddesses of heaven. And that man, according to his father, was mad to achieve the lotus feet, Chaitanya Charan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nothing could stop him. His mother contemplated chaining him, literally shackling him, to try and prevent him from running off like a madman and taking shelter of the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So although he was immersed totally in mundane opulence, right, he had no care for that. And we see in his life, from an external point of view, the extremes of vairāgya, as we hear about the 6 Goswamis given by Srinivasacharya. What is it? Nidrahara vihara kaja vidito chaitanya dinatyo. And tyaktva turnamashesha mandalapati shranim sadatu chavat bhutva dina ganeshako kurunaya kopina kantasrito. Nothing but the kopin, and they're writing their books, sleeping underneath a tree. They don't even have bhajan kutirs at a certain point. Under a tree. And what is that? Carving with a stylus on a bamboo sheet. And sleeping, chori danda means an hour and 36 minutes a day, sometimes not even that. But here's the point that we have to make. Then someone may think, by practicing extreme renunciation, sleep deprivation, sensory deprivation, you can achieve this exalted stage of spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That is not the case. It is the inverse. This nectarine substance, this bhakti-rasa, they're drinking this, right? And that is sustaining their lives to the point they have very little, the least necessity of any external input in terms of sleep, eating, etc., on account of this deep internal relish. So it reminds us of the Bhagavad Gita śloka, one of the 4 nutshell slokas, and say, Majtita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam katayan chas chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So here, Krishna himself is saying, my devotees are feasting on my topics, about me. Krishna Katha, Hari Katha. That's what he's saying. Tushyanti cha. It's as much as when someone is nourished and by food, rich, and relishing that. He's saying they get that type of relish by talking about sometimes when you hear the voice of Srila Prabhupada, or Srila Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, it appears as though they're almost like choking on some nectarine substance, the liquid sweetness of their voices. And in the 4th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada says that the voice of the pure devotees, he said, is saturated with the saffron mercy particles from the lotus feet of Krishna. That's within the nectarine sound of their voices. So Krishna saying, Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, it goes even further, saying, so katayan chastamam nityam, always relishing, talking about me, like the Braja Gopis, right? Tava katamritam, we're going to hear Pratap Rudra Maharaj when he enters the garden. Soon Gundicha Marjan will come, then Rath Yatra, and at the halftime intermission, when Mahaprabhu goes in the garden to rest from all the ecstatic singing and dancing, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya told Prataparudra Maharaj, then in the humble guise of a Vaishnava, not as a king, but just in the humble guise of a Vaishnava, you will enter there, Mahaprabhu will be lying, and then you will begin to massage his lotus feet and sing the Gopi Gita. This Panchadhyaya 5 chapter section from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Rasa Lila. But this is the Gopi Gita, the songs of the Braja Gopis. Tava katamritam tapta jivanam kavibir iditam kalmasha apaham. Sravana mangalam srimad atatam bhuvi grananti te buridajana. And there are other verses before that, but when he gets to this one, Mahaprabhu is saying, yes, Buridab, those who give this divine substance, they're the real humanitarians, the real altruists. They're doing the real seva, service to mankind, to the world, to everyone. This is that thing, this is that substance that everyone is hankering for and needs to come in connection with. So if someone's distributing that, love means distribution. If someone is distributing that, how great they are, and you're giving that to me, I don't know how to reciprocate this level of wealth or gift. So Mahaprabhu then embraces Prataparudra Maharaj. He's melting in ecstasy and saying, what his heart prayed for all along, now he's in the arms of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from singing Gopi Gita. Right? So they're relishing. Right? And to what degree? Tushanti cha, ramanti cha, means even the pleasure of eros is included there 1,000,000 times over. As we heard from Rupa Goswami the other day, Brahmanando bhavedesha chet paradha guni krita naiti bhakti sukambodhe paramanu tulamape. Even the pleasure of Brahmananda, which makes mundane eros seem repulsive, disgusting on recollection, that multiply that 1,000,000,000,000-fold is not equivalent to an atomic fraction from the pleasure derived from bhakti-rasa. Nava rasa. When Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days to live, is fasting from food and water on the banks of the Jamuna, and Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to him when they are in the 10th canto. The question arises about the condition of Parikshit Maharaj. Well, he's actually expressing it for those who might think along these lines. And that verse comes, Nivrtatar Shire, there's again. Nivrtatar Shire upagiyamanad bhavoshadat shrota manobhiramat ka uttama sloka gunanavadat mirajeta pashugnat. forget the next word. He says, bhava is a reference to material existence. And he's saying, what you're giving me, and what is material, what's the big problem here? Mortality. Suddenly everyone's awake to this concept that we're mortal, that our existence is fragile to the extreme. And no one, no matter how much money they have, education, technology, no one is exempt from this. And what could make this more abundantly clear than the last 5 or 6 months, where the world is temporarily closed, but not exempt from mortality? That's the problem here. It's always the problem. It's always been the problem, always will be the problem. So some, and like the Devas and the Asuras, they understood this. Right? In the churning of the milk ocean, they want to get what? Amrita. Mrityu means death. Amrita means that nectarine substance that makes you deathless. But just to be deathless, for what? Right? To live indefinitely, for what? For what purpose? To what end? But both sides, theist, atheist, and everything in between, understand either, implicitly, intuitively, or that this is the problem that you have to deal with here. So on the one side, you have the Google people and the science people believing in scientism. Through technology, they will cure mortality, achieve immortality. And on the other side, the theists, through varieties of theistic culture, they will achieve immortal life. But when I brought this up to Srila Guru Maharaj, and I was saying, because I hadn't heard from His Divine Grace about this very pastime, and I thought, oh yeah, that pastime is there in the 8th canto of the Bhagavatam, and we read that with some relish, delight. But it never occurred to me, or maybe it did in a subtle way, that, well, they're trying to achieve immortality, get this amrita to make them deathless. Why is a story like that in the Bhagavatam? The Bhagavatam is not about how to achieve immortal life. As Guru Maharaj said, the Bhagavatam is taking you from the world of ontological and intellectual jugglery into the domain of rasa. That's the world. Not just generic, off-the-shelf immortality, but rasa, muktir hitvanyata rupam swarupena vibhastiti, in a divine form suitable for the exchange of rasa. So, and having just seen the 12th canto and the last chapter, and this verse beginning with Prishte Brahmyadamanda Mandara Giri Gravagya Gandhu Yanam, Nidralo Kamatakriter, etc., about the Kurma avatar. And I was thinking, it's a wonderful pastime, as we heard in the 8th canto, but this is the conclusion of the Bhagavatam, the last chapter of the 12th canto, and there's only around 23 verses, so you expect every one of them to be almost a recap or a summary, or stating explicitly a conclusion. And they do. Right? The very last verse, Babaji Maharaj, Krishna's Babaji Maharaj loved very much with that. Of course, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Praṇāmo Dukkha Samanas Tannamami Harim Param, concluding with Nam Sankirtan beautifully, and that's in line with the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, it's so perfect. That book, with all of this, from the Janmadhyasya Sloka in the beginning, and the Kaitava Dharma, and the Gulli Tam Palam, the Rasa, up to the 10th canto of the Bible, everything, all the avatars. And what does it conclude? Nam Sankirtan. This is Nam Sankirtan Kalo Parama Upai. Nam Sankirtan will give you everything. How merciful is Krishna to, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna avatar, to descend in the form of his holy name, and all of his devotees as divine agents distributing the holy name of Krishna, because love means distribution. So I thought, why is this verse about the Devas and the Asuras trying to capture Amrita reappearing here in the concluding section of the Srimad Bhagavatam? And Srila Guru Maharaj so beautifully answered. He said, what was the object of their churning? Nectar, Amrita. He said, why this is appearing here, and really what that pastime is taking us in the direction of, which is thematically consistent in the Bhagavatam, to ultimately come to this conclusion, saying the ultimate nectarine substance is Madhura Rasa. That's why it's appearing again. So they think they're going for generic immortality, but really this is what we're searching for. Krishnanusandhan, as the search for Sri Krishna begins. Guru Maharaj said, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, right, to inquire about our spiritual. Guru Maharaj said, that is a dry thing. Now is the time to search for rasa. Rasa Jigyasa, to inquire about rasa, Krishnanusandhan, through the search for Sri Krishna, who is whom? Rasa personified. Guru Maharaj mentions Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur. He's showing his life as one of gradual ascent and development. Although when I said to Guru Maharaj, when we consider everything he gave, which Guru Maharaj, enshrined in the poem, Guru Dam, Grantadam, Gaura, Damadam, Namadam, Buddha, Bhakti Dam, Buridam, Bande, Bhakti Vinodadam, Muda. That, he, I'm thinking of the other one. But anyway, Guru Dam, Grantadam, Gaura, Namadam. Did I just say this verse? Yes. All right, well, there's two. I'm saying also, Bande, Bhakti Vinodam Sri, Gaur Shakti Swarupakam, Bhakti Shastra Gyasam Rajam, Radha Rasa Sudhanidim. So I'm saying, he gives us all of our books, Radha Dasyam, reveals Mahaprabhu's birthplace, gives us the Guru who begins the magnanimous distribution of Krishna consciousness, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur, and through the agency of Śrīla Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So all of these things, I'm saying, the Jaiva Dharma, Chaitanya Shikshamritam, all of our songs, the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Bhagavatam, all the books. And Guru Maharaj said, yes, he said, when we observe his wealth, we understand it was not something achieved in this lifetime, but he descended from the upper world into this plane to distribute something. Distribution means love, means distribution. So he descended here. But as one of the people of the day, so there's a part in his life where he's saying, I could not understand why Sri Chaitanya Dev is exalting Krishna as, the supreme personality of Godhead, the supreme reality, when Krishna apparently is doing so many objectionable things. So he's dealing with what might be our reservations. That's why he is asserting these things. But rather than getting preachy about it or accusative, he's saying, I was wondering, like Mahaprabhu is perfect, and why is he accepted Krishna, who does so many objectionable things, as the supreme reality? And he said, and then I prayed to the Lord for some understanding. And then he said, and then I came to understand, Sri Chaitanya Dev is Krishna. In the Bhagavad, his Bhagavad speech, where he says, he refers to Jesus Christ as the Western Savior and shows some respect and appreciation there. He said, but I think we should also turn our attention towards the Eastern Savior, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's promoting Krishna. And so Mahaprabhu is so strict, right? He wouldn't meet with Pratap Parudra Maharaj because he's a king. He wouldn't, he's saying to Sri Damodar, so give the pitta, the cakes, the sweets to the devotees. I'll take lafra, just like mixed vegetables, to show like I'm a sannyasi, I shouldn't eat luxurious food stuff. Of course, they told him, Sri Damodar saying, actually this is Jagannath Prasad, so it has no mundane qualities. I mean, he's telling him. And saying, so please just try and taste what Jagannath relished. And how much delight Mahaprabhu is getting from hearing his devotees speak in this way, as if they're teaching him devotion, because he's descended for that very purpose. So, so that Krishna, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, he owns everything. He is Yagyeshwar, all Yagya is meant to satisfy him. When we say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of God, Guru is saying, there's not an atom that is not under the conscious control of the Supreme Entity. Everything is known and controlled by him. The possibility of encroachment is not a possibility. It's impossible. Right? When I was making life members in Calcutta, this is in like 1973, 74, and down at the Esplanade, where there's at any time of day or night, tens of thousands of people. And there was this Christian preacher, an Indian, with the Bible, and then there I was, and we were kind of like the mirror image opposites of, the person from the West who is embracing Krishna consciousness, and this person from India embracing Christianity. Somehow, a dialogue began, and we're trying to go respectful back then, and a group of people gather around, as they do in India. They're already there, taking sides. And I say this just as a statement of fact. They were mainly on my side. I don't know if there was anyone on his side. It was Bengal, after all, where they still say Jai Nitai on Park Street. You know? So at one point he became the din and he said, "What I want to know is why is Lord Krishna dancing with other men's wives?" You know, and I went, now I'm playing to the crowd. I went, aha, you know, and everyone was like, you know, they're all. Then I started explaining to him this idea of everything belongs to God, everyone belongs to Krishna, ourselves included, and there's no question of encroachment or trespassing on his part. But at the time, I said, so why have you taken one of Krishna's gopis for your wife? And everyone went like, aha! And that man, only this could happen in India, the land of Trinadapi, Sunni. He said, I haven't properly studied all these things. He said, I will have to. And I thought, what a sincere person. And he said, I haven't read Bhagavad, and you know, like he started to kind of melt and say, I need to carefully study. I haven't really carefully studied Krishna conception. So there's so many stereotypical objections that are superficial, and Bhaktivinod Thakur deals with them as well. But I like that he says, and then I came to understand Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. That's a great way to convey that to someone else. What's different then? Well, here, and I'm taking this opportunity to say something in glorification of Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur and Srila Gadadhar Pandit, because the Amavasya is approaching, and that may be on a day where I don't get the opportunity to glorify them. So, Chaitanya Charitamritam, the greatest literature to have ever seen, the Guru Maharaj saying, to have ever seen the light of day in all time, all space, and all creations. The ultimate book review, right? And there, Kaviraj Goswami is he's succeeding and revealing to us who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Swarup of Krishna. What is unique and distinguishing about it? And to do that, he's quoting Raghunāth Dās Goswāmī's guru, in essence, Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, of whom Raghunāth Dās Goswāmī is the best student in the Rupa Nuga line. And just to cap that off, so Das Goswami is saying, and Sanātan Goswāmī Prabhu was so merciful. He forcibly made me drink this type of vairāgya, bhakti-rasa, whereby what you're relishing is so great, the world becomes nothing. Yad anucharita lila karna piyusha viprut, sadkridadana viduta dharma vinashta. A drop of this divine substance destroys all the mundane surrounding us, enveloping us. So, and allows the heart's true flow of Krishna Prem to be released. So, in the Charitamritam, he's saying, and he's quoting Kaviraj Goswami, quoting Rupa Goswami. By the way, the reason Guru Maharaj said he's the best student of Rupa Nuga line. He's not, because he is clearly saying our ultimate concern is Radha Dasyam. Not directly with Krishna, but through Radharani, serving the holy lotus feet of Radharani. He's saying Das Goswami makes this abundantly clear. It's there everywhere, he's saying, but he underscores it, and in that same book, the Vilāpa-kusumāñjali. So, quoting Rupa Goswami, he said, Aparam kasyapi pranayi janabrindasya kutuki rasotstamam ritva madhuram upoktam kamapiya rucham swama vavre dutim iha taririyam sachet tariyam sachetanya devaskritir atitaram na kṛpāyatu. Krishna serving 1 trillion supremely qualified Brajagopis. One stood out to such a degree that when she made herself absent from the Rasa Leela, Krishna left 1 trillion to go and search for this one alone. So we can say, of those who are supremely qualified, 1 trillion-fold, she's that qualified and more. Inconceivable. But the quality and character of her heart, her love, is astonishing Krishna. He is to the point of perplexity and also curiosity. And then unthinkable, but Krishna saying like, if this is what she's like when we're together, understanding the principle that absence makes the heart grow fonder. If I were to separate myself from her, what sort of behavior, heart would she exhibit? If on account of separation, the maximum amount of pressure is put upon love and affection, because there's love and affection when you're together. But in separation, the maximum amount of pressure is being put on the heart's love and affection. And what he views from a hidden position astonishes him to see what her heart expresses in separation. And that verse we just mentioned is from Brahma Gita. And when we say kotuki, means it awakened the curiosity within him that saying, as Rasaraj, the supreme enjoyer, I can only theoretically understand that. But to experience it, to taste it, to experience those sort of feelings, I would have to become her. So he plunders the heart of Srimati Radharani, whose heart is so radiant with Krishna consciousness. That is the halo of that heart. So when we say heart and halo, the halo is the outcome of the radiance of the Krishna prema in the heart of Srimati Radharani. And the remainder of Radharani being Gadadhar. Right? So, and Gadadhar Pandit, both Bhaktivinod Thakur and Gadadhar Pandit appearing on Amavasya, which means the dark moon, the non-visible moon. The moon is there, but not visible. Gadadhar Pandit in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there, but like not so visible, in the background. But the most wonderful thing has happened, as Guru Maharaj says in the Saraswati Arati song, Mandahasa, the seeing Shama Sundar Krishna transformed into Gauranga Sundar, who is, Achintya Guna Swarup, blackish, now is radiant. He's Gauranga. All his limbs are infused with this golden radiance, and it's on account of being enveloped in her heart, saying, Radharani is like smiling, smiling to see that. So as Gadadhar, always in the proximity of Mahaprabhu, but keeping in the background and astonished to see the influence of her heart upon Krishna as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, when at one place Kaviraj Goswami says the Gadadhar Pandit is likened to Rukmini in the pastime where Mahaprabhu is teasing Gadadhar Pandit and trying to get a reaction, and Gadadhar Pandit is saying, toleration will be best for me. The devotee is saying, you should say something. Toleration, just be tolerant. Tolerate him. So he said, like Rukmini. And we said, well, wait, you're saying Gadadhar is the remainder, having her heart being plundered by Krishna, the remainder is Gadadhar. And we hear heart above intellect in Vrindavan, reversed in Dwaraka. So Radharani Chandravali, Rukmini, Satyabhama. So this is an ontological quandary that Guru Maharaj resolves, saying the reason the comparison is given to Rukmini is absent the Bhama Bhav, that element of sweet opposition that gives so much excitement to Krishna and Braja Leela is absent here. Gadadhar, toleration will be best for me. Right? But and many times I've said, attempting to glorify Swarup Damodar, Mahaprabhu Dutiya Kalevar, Mahaprabhu the second. Think of that, Mahaprabhu the second. That's how you should understand Swarup Damodar. That close, that intimate. And Das Goswami is his assistant. And the Chaitanya Charitamritam is based upon the notes of Swarup Damodar and Das Goswami. It's everything that we have. Then, and being always at the side of Srimati Radharani as Lalita Sakhi, Swarup Damodar is most fit to assist Mahaprabhu, enveloped by the heart and halo of Radharani, and terra incognito in this unexplored terrain of the heart of Srimati Radharani, right? Which is really the subject matter of the Rath Yatra. Again, everything has different levels of understanding, and so many things can be said about it, but what is at the heart of the matter is her heart expression that Mahaprabhu is giving before Jagannath. And what is it? At the zenith point of separation, Kurukshetra. So, Swarup Damodar, Lalita Sakhi, and Braja Leela, always at the side of Srimati Radharani, Anuradha. Like Mahaprabhu, Dutiya Kalevar, Anuradha. Like the junior Radha, you know, knows everything. We know sometimes Radharani will say, what have I expressed? Did I say something strange or exhibit some peculiar behavior? And Lalita reassuring, Mahaprabhu, did I say something strange or exhibit some peculiar behavior? Everything is perfect. So when Mahaprabhu said to Das Goswami, what I don't know, Swarup knows, he meant it. So qualified. But so who are the two people that are in the most unique position to understand the heart of Srimati Radharani? Then Swarup Damodar, but then of course Gadadhar Pandit, who's none other than Srimati Radharani herself. And that Gadadhar Pandit Mahaprabhu wanted Srinivasacharya to learn the Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. And Guru Maharaj said, even though literally it didn't happen, and that's a story for another occasion. Well, not really, it's for this occasion. But he's saying, by the will of Mahaprabhu, he became the expert, and it must happen, regardless of the method of transmission. That's what I mean to say. But on this note, it is appropriate, because when Bhaktivinod Thakur made his Bhagavad-arka Marichimala, Bhagavatam is 18,000 rayed sun. He's going to take 1,000 rays of the Bhagavad sun, present it there. Guru Maharaj got the inspiration to collect a few hundred, but he only composed the introductory slokas. A pranam for Veda Vyas, one for Srimati Radharani, being, Yadamiyam Mahima Sri Bhagavatam Katayam, saying the whole Bhagavatam is meant to take us in this direction of the service of her holy lotus feet. And also there is the Gadadhar Pranam. So that Gadadhar Pandit, and by extent just remember, Srimati Radharani is going to explain the Srimad Bhagavatam. What sort of Bhagavatam is that? Gadadhar Pandit is, because I remember when I first heard this, maybe in the early 1970s, and there would be a little thing like, Gadadhar Pandit giving Bhagavatam, and you see, and they're all, so what, extracting on what level, if we say the devotee, what they're relishing by these discussions, what quality of relish is to be found there? Right? Inconceivable. And the level of nourishment, if you will, right, comes to mind. Guru Maharaj saying, we should accept Radharani's suggestion. So, Guru Maharaj composed this sloka. Nilambudhi tate sadasva viraha kṛpāmbudhir bandhavam Srimad Bhagavati Katha Madhiraya Sanjeevayan Bhatya Srimad Bhagavatam Swanayana Srupayanai Pujayan Goswami Prabharo Gadadhara Vibhur Bhuyat Madeka Gati. Saying, let this book be an offering, this collection, to the best of the Goswamis. Śrīla Gadadhar Pandit, saying, who on the shore of that broad blue ocean, like we say, Nilachala, Nilachala Chandra, Purushotam Kshetra, Nilachala, on the shore of that broad blue ocean, saying, there Krishna is experiencing svaviraha, separation from himself. It's enveloped in the heart and halo of Srimati Radharani. Right? But kṛpāmbudhir bandhavam, in the presence of his dearmost friend, whom heart he's plundered. So he is there, enveloped in her heart. At his side is Radharani as Gadadhar Pandit, who knows exactly what he's experiencing. Svaviraha, but in this case it's svaviraha. Separation from himself, but with her heart. Srimad Bhagavati Katha Madhiraya Sanjeevayan Bhatya. The last stage of separation is death. 10 stages, the last stage, death. We're told devotees, although they feel like dying, Bhaktivinod Thakur says, I can only live in this world 2 or 4 days more. I can't stand being, tolerate being separated from Krishna. I'll have to leave the world. But they don't, understanding that giving up their life would make Krishna unhappy. That's how wholly given they are over to Krishna. And as someone pointed out, as if the removal of the self, of any self-consideration, reveals the pure self. Right? That's what we mean by self-oblivion. Not self-annihilation, self-extinction, but the absence of self-consideration on account of being wholly given over to the other. So the separation's depth is such as he's in a death-like condition, on the verge of death. And Sanjiva, what is Gadadhar Pandit doing? Guru said, just like when a friend is brokenhearted from their beloved, another friend comes and offers them some intoxication to relieve the anguish in their heart. He's saying, but what is the intoxication being given by Gadadhar Pandit? Bhagavatam slokas. Right? The most intoxicating substance, these Bhagavatam slokas, offering them. And she knows these slokas, they either bring relief to my heart or amplify certain sentiments, emotions, feelings. And it's saying, so like an oshud, a medicine, which by the way, Purgamar said, this medicine, I forgot, is medicine normally tastes horrible. He said, this medicine is in, manobhiramat, it's abhiram, it's beautiful, it's sweet, it's enlivening, and I don't need to drink or eat anything when I'm relishing this divine substance. So, in a similar way, Gadadhar Pandit, by supplying the intoxicating Bhagavad slokas, is bringing Mahaprabhu back to life. And then, but in this process, seeing her beloved under the influence of her heart, going through the depths of this sort of separation, and how moving is this transaction between them. Her beloved, Krishna, is now in this condition on account of feeling the separation of her heart that she feels. That Srimad Bhagavatam Swanayanashu Payanai Pujayam, that tears are streaming down the lotus face of Gadadhar Pandit while he's reading these slokas, and they're like lotus tears, like falling onto the pages of the Bhagavatam and washing away the slokas. As if and like they're like offerings. We're told you should offer flowers to the book. So the tears of Gadadhar Pandit are pouring on the pages like flower offerings, but washing away those verses as if they're not to be known or that confidential. So although by the time Srinivasacharya comes, Gadadhar Pandit says, what I wanted to teach you, my tears have washed them away. I need a new Bhagavatam. Payanai pujayam Goswami prabharo Gadadhara vibhur bhuyat mareka gati. So both on the Amavasya, there's a Tirobhav of Śrīla Bhaktivinod Thakur, Śrīla Gadadhar Pandit. And just to conclude, Guru Maharaj, when he wrote Bhaktivinod Viraha Dasakam, these prayers in separation of Bhaktivinod Thakur, they're all wonderful. They're extraordinary, can be mined. They're Siddhantic jewel mines. But this one slogan, when Saraswati Thakur, he saw this in his lifetime, and he saw the composition, and this sloka that I'm about to recite, he said to Goswami, who wrote this? And Goswami Maharaj said, Sridhar Maharaj. And Saraswati Thakur said, Sridhar Maharaj hasn't written this. And Goswami Maharaj said, no. Saraswati Thakur said, Bhaktivinod Thakur has written this through him. It's that perfect. Sri Gauranumatam Swarupa Viditam Rupagrajanadritam Rupadye Pariveshitam Raghugunaya Ashraditam Sevitam Jivadye Virakshitam Shukra Shiva Brahma Samanitam Sri Radha Parasevanamritam Aho Tadatam Ishobhavan. Oh, means, oh, Bhaktivinod Thakur, this is your gift to the world. What Mahaprabhu brought down, we were just discussing, is known only fully, Swarupa Vidita, only Swarup Damodar, Swarupa Bibranam Jagatatulyam, the incomparable Swarup Damodar. And it's worshipped by Sanātan Goswami Prabhu, distributed by Rupa and his followers, and enhanced by Raghunath Das and Krishna Das and their line, protected by Jiva, Baladev, aspired for by Brahma, Shiva, Sukha. Later, Guru Maharaj added Uddhava, Asamaho Chararena. And so then we think, what is it? Sri Radha Parasevanamritamaho. The service of the whole, as I said, Radha Rasa Sudhanidim. The service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Oh, Bhaktivinod Thakur, this is your gift to the world. And that caused Saraswati Thakur to say, who's written this? Sridhar Maharaj. No. Bhaktivinod Thakur has written this through him. So how beautiful, how wonderful is the Krishna consciousness movement. And Śrīla Prabhupada brought everyone in the world in connection with this. Śrīla Guru Maharaj revealed the depths of what it is. And this Jagannath Rath Yatra that is approaching is where all of the heart attained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there he is giving it out fully before Jagannath, Anyara, Hridayaman, Moraman, Vrindavan. So, however it may take place this year, it's going on in the Nitya Leela. And we celebrate that, and we will celebrate again. Hare Krishna. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Satara Sada Shri Srimad Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Savarikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Ju Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Jagannath Shami Ki Jai, Jagannath Subhadra Balabhadra Ki Jai, Śrīla Bhaktivinod Thakur Ki Jai, Gadadhar Pandit Ki Jai, Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Purushottam Kshetra Ki Jai, Nila Chala Chandra Jagannath Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Om Vishnupad Vishvavarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Brinda Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Vimalavadup Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai, Jai Sri Bhakti Lalita Devi Dasi Ki Jai, Jai Sriman Paramananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Seva Vrinda Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Go Premanande.
Śrīla Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Maharaj Danda was from Praneshwari Didi, Dhananjaya Prabhu, Russia, Audarya Lila Didi, Purushottam Prabhu, Salt Lake City, Prithu Prabhu, Gokula Taruni Didi, apāyayan, Ashapurna Didi, Madhavendra Prabhu, Belarus, Ukraine, Lavangalata Didi, Suchitra Didi, Ajita Krishna Prabhu, Rupa Vilas Prabhu, Tarulata Didi, Krishna Kanta Didi, Rasananda Prabhu Sochi, Krishna Das Prabhu Chiang Mai, Gaura Shakti Das Australia, Kṛpāmbudhir Prabhu, Krishna Sharan Prabhu, Radhana Rupini Didi, Atula Krishna Prabhu and Madhavi Didi Hungary, from Madhavi Didi Hungary, yeah, Madhavi Didi. Then Magdalena Vegvari, Maharaj is very. That's her probably, yeah. Madhavi Didi. Maharaj is very cheerful right now. I'm happy to see that.
It's the Jagannath Rath Yatra coming. It's exciting every year.
Then Kṛpāmbudhir. Jesus gave us pure spring water and Mahaprabhu has given us an ocean of nectar. And then he recites from the Bible, John. Jesus answered and said to her, everyone who drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I will give him shall never thirst. But the water that I will give him will become in him a well of water springing up to eternal life. End of quote. Narina?
But this particular nectar, it will increase your thirst. You'll be more thirsty. For this. Not for the mundane thirst will vanish, but you will have increased thirst for this divine substance. We pray for that. Kave have bolu se de nama.